What, Slacks?
Yeah, lock him up.
Really?
Just to be done with it. Jesus. Yeah. Go there for some ideas, get some fresh, hot, spicy memes, and then just throw him a garbage bag full of food and leave him to it. Love you, Slacks.
Best friends forever.
I'm just imagining Ted's basement. You know, he's like, I need some fresh YouTube content for the day. Let me hop down to the basement.
Poke him with a stick. Just wake up. Where's the memes?
Where are the memes?
Memes?
Unbelievable. He's great. He's been fantastic this year with all this stuff
he's been great.
Done with Casey as well. We're a few minutes away from our first horn of the day to signify game number 1. So, Charlie, let's just get towards that right now by discussing the teams that have dropped out as well. Yesterday we saw TNC removed from the tournament. Liquid probably the biggest one though, after OG going out the previous day, Secret the previous day. We've lost seemingly all of the favourites, including eHome yesterday. So my question to you once more is, who is the favourite now with 5 left?
There are no favorites, man. Anything.
You're still going with that line?
Yeah.
He's right.
These empty platitudes. I will give you a favorite.
Go on, Cap.
It's got to be the TI5 winners. Evil Geniuses.
You think EG?
Evil Geniuses are probably the favorite right now.
Do you think they have peaked better this year in the way that they seem to be playing better than they were in parallel to where they were last year, and yet they were strong? So is it peaking at the right time? Is it good practice before they come in? What has made them so good?
I mean, it's a lot of things. It is peaking at the right time. It's coming together and finding like how they want to play. That's always been, I guess, if there is a weakness with EG, and if there is a reason that they don't do well, it's because there's a point in their, in the year where they don't know how to play, where they don't know what they're really comfortable, and they don't figure out the meta, and then Peter picks something wonky or whatever, somebody gets mad. And
Blame
then,
it on Peter,
and then the cancer starts or whatever. But, this time they've figured out what they want to do. I think Phil's done a great job of not making sure that the cancer doesn't start. And they've got it together.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure I agree with the medical terms that are in use, but I understand the metaphor. Ted, in terms of having people like Fear and PPD in the team, that experience, that level of winning last year and coming back and knowing what it feels like, is that helping them through that upper bracket?
I mean, I assume so. I mean, especially since we talked a lot about how Zai took a year out and comes back and is still one of the best players in the world. I mean, that's kind of handy to have, They are a super good team, and that series against eHome, which I think we've widely agreed is, if not the best, definitely one of the top 2 or 3 games.
Absolutely. Of any esport, by the way, not
absolutely.
Just Dota 2.
But that has to give you a huge amount of faith in your captain, in yourselves, in the team. I mean, I hope they were celebrating after that. That was a great series for them.
Well, I think Shiva made a great point. After that game in the booth, they jumped up, hugged each other, screamed and shouted, potentially more than they did when they won TI5 last year.
I guess the occasion, if you just won TI, is almost overwhelming in itself. Especially because they have to step out into the crowd, going absolutely bonkers and all the confetti and stuff. So I think this was just, I think this was the thing where they thought if we can get over this hump and really get back together, we can win TI, and they absolutely can.
I think it honestly helps that they had a down period, a period where they were quite bad. I think that actually helps.
You mean
right?
in results-wise?
Yeah. Because at that point, like you've reached your bottom in some ways, and that just gives you drive to be able to make the comeback, right? If you had gone through and stayed champions, maybe that drive wouldn't be the same.
And maybe lack of expectation as well. Coming into TI, I don't think people were putting them in their top 4. So maybe that gave them a bit more drive as well. A bit of pressure off and a bit of desire to go prove people wrong. That might have helped too.
Yeah, I think we've seen that. Well, I guess the opposite of that from past champions like OG. In the exit interview, they mentioned that, winning takes away hunger, and then it puts a target on your back as well.
Yeah, okay. Well, you heard the horn. The horn has sounded for the start of day number 5. So we're going to get into it in just a moment. It is, of course, MVP versus Fnatic, 2 teams that are very, very used to each other. In fact, they've played so much this year, it's hard to put a finger between them. Online, offline, it's been a different result. But these 2 absolutely know all about each other, and what a great way to end their season right here at the International, where they're fighting over the advancement into the top 4. Fnatic versus MVP. And we'll start with MVP. QO has been one of the star players, of course, of that team. But what do we really know about him? Let's find out. team in the world, the Korean MVP team, 1 year on from qualifying from their first international. They're guaranteed top 6, but they want more, as do their opponents. A team waiting in the wings to come out and join them. A team they've played many times before, just as fearless, just as aggressive. They are Fnatic. The name of the game for this team this year, they are one of only 2 teams to have reached the top 6 at all 3 majors in 2016. A pivotal part of that has been a man who enjoyed hometown support in the Philippines and is back here again at the International in 2016. He is DJ and he caught up with Casey just as they entered the International.
region, Southeast Asian region, where they routinely have to match up against each other in so many online qualifiers. Fnatic routinely has had MVP Phoenix's number and has knocked them out of so many tournament qualifiers and prevented MVP Phoenix from going to that LAN. But MVP Phoenix has always performed and stepped up at the LAN. And the biggest story, this is straight up a repeat from the Shanghai Major.
It is, yeah.
Straight up. MVP Phoenix versus Fnatic, the winner places top 4.
Yep. So which way does it go, Charlie?
Man, I hate predictions now because
Charlie hates predictions, doesn't have a coin anymore, he's lost.
No, but I will go with MVP. I think all those online matches where Fnatic has beaten MVP, they've been online. MVP has traditionally always been a LAN team. When they play on Southeast Asian servers, they're playing at a ping disadvantage. There's no hype, there's no momentum, so MVP.
All right. Cap.
Fnatic are building up so much steam, but I'm going to stick with my original prediction, MVP Phoenix.
Ted?
Fnatic have yet to lose a game on the main stage. I think if they lose the first, it could be interesting. Will we get the OG beating MVP Phoenix or the Wings losing MVP Phoenix? I'm going to say MVP.
All right, let's find out. Draft 1.
MVP Phoenix versus Fnatic. Game 1.
Hello, Key Arena. Hello, everyone watching at home, and welcome to our first series of Day 5. It's MVP versus Fnatic. I have joining me on the drafting panel Black, Merlini, and Waga, of course. Black, we saw in that earlier clip from Loda saying that sometimes you just can't beat the team that you're technically better than, but it's just the team is a lot more hungry. Do you think one of these two teams might be a bit more hungry than the other?
I think we spoke about, like the other panel spoke about it a bit before. I think MVP is a lot more hungry on LANs, while Fnatic is a lot more hungry to like qualify for those LAN events. So MVP had like a tradition to lose to Fnatic online, but on LAN they beat them like every single time.
We already have the picks underway here. It was Fnatic that did claim first pick. They quickly snagged up a Bounty Hunter, which has been kind of a signature grab for him through this tournament, while MVP snagged up the Slardar along with the Ogre, and then quickly a Slar comes out, gentlemen.
I don't think that MVP Phoenix were prepared for the Bounty Hunter first pick. They used a third of their reserve time thinking about their first 2 picks. So we already have 4 melee heroes. Looks to be our standard MVP Phoenix game. I think they like to run 2 different type strategies. The one that we saw them lose versus Wings with, and also the Naga/Alchemist farming on QO.
Yeah, and I really love what Fnatic are doing here. Grabbing the Bounty Hunter early, that track allows you to kite MVP. And that's one way to deal with it. When they go in on you, you need to have heroes that can survive that type of aggression. And you can also, of course, counter-initiate. When you have track on every enemy, that 30% movement speed, it makes a massive difference in team fight.
I really like the immediate response of MVP though. Both Slardar and Ogre are very good against Bounty because they're like very tanky, and Bounty Hunter generally hates like trying to gank those tanky kind of support heroes and harassing them, as well as the Slardar who can just like sprint away. You'll pretty much never be able to kill him unless Slark gets a pounce on him.
Yeah, that's a smart grab, but at the same time we also see PA here in the second phase being banned out. Really good ban by Fnatic. I think you have to respect this against MVP. If you don't ban it second phase, they will take it, and PA Slardar really, really hurts.
I mean, they picked it like every single time. Even after they lost, they just picked it again like right after that. I mean, they lost again with it, but I'm sure MVP is a team that won't lose confidence in that hero, even if they lose like a million times.
I mean, I always love the MVP casino draft, so I hope we get to see it again where they just pray to RNGesus for all of that huge hits.
A hero that surprises me that hasn't been picked or banned yet is Elder Titan. It's a hero that was super effective at shutting down MVP's aggression. It counters a lot of their drafting way because they draft heroes with extremely high base armor. That's something that goes for most of their drafts if you look at it. And Ogre Magi, Slardar, both of them have really high as well. It would be a strong hero here. I don't know about Elder Titan and Bounty on the same team though, so kind of saying no to it maybe is Fnatic.
I mean, the only way you would be able to run him then is like either Bounty or Titan as an offlaner, but that's like generally not that good because you won't be there for your mid laner or your safe laner to like counter initiate when you actually get ganked. So it's probably not like a very good choice here, and Fnatic doesn't have like a big history of running that hero anyways.
MVP quickly snag up the Timber Saw with their 3rd pick. This comes after Fnatic also banned out that Naga, so they're looking to take away all comfort levels of MVP here.
think Timbersaul's a pretty decent counter versus the Slark. It's also a resilient laner. Like Ogre, Magi, and the Timbersaw, they're very hard for the Bounty Hunter to gank. Very high armor, high HP regen. You really don't want to be pressuring these two lanes.
Yeah, that's the one downfall to picking it so early is that MVP, they're really tailoring a nice lineup against the Bounty Hunter, making his early game hard so he doesn't get that level 6 quickly. And if MVP just get their blink on Slardar before Fnatic really have the levels they need on everyone, then it becomes very difficult to hold back MVP.
Yep. I'm a bit surprised by the Timber pick though, because generally you pick Slaughter and like right clickers after, but they chose to pick the Timbersaw instead.
I haven't seen that little lady in quite a while. Crystal Maiden shows her beautiful face.
But it's not a first at this tournament, right?
No, not at all. Just been a long time, Black.
I mean, we have seen her yesterday evening as like cosplayers.
Opposing icy nemesis. Lich comes out.
Like Lich is like so good against all melee cores, like that Slark. It's gonna be so much harder for him to kill anyone of their team. Like even if they were to pick something like an Elder Titan now, it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, but if we look at Fnatic's damage, they don't have much physical damage. Look at it. They have so much magic damage. CM, Sanking, even Slark is a magic damage type carry. So all this armor they're building into with the Timbersaw and Lich added to the first two that we already mentioned, I feel that might be a little bit redundant when you have only magic damage coming in.
Well, if they don't buy a BKB, that magic damage does look pretty damn good. Ohio's Sand King yesterday was out of control.
Yeah, itemization was a very big part of yesterday's games for sure, and I think a lot of teams should watch and study in the Team Liquid series. But Oracle, Naga not available. What do you think they're going to ban out in the next series?
Well, for MVP, like Fnatic is definitely looking for a mid laner, for a mid one. So they definitely want to ban out, like, what do they usually play with? It like an Ember? Like
Ember,
a hero that,
Queen.
like, runs at you, yeah?
Yeah. I don't think you should worry too much about the Queen, even though it would be a strong hero here. But Ember is probably a good ban since you only have Ogre and Slardar, kind of slow stunners.
I think
What about
Invoker's
Zeus, dude?
Zeus will be fine. Zeus I like versus the Timbersaw. I think Invokers might be a little bit better, more suited to mid one.
I'm actually surprised we didn't see a lot of Zeus here. I love Zeus against both Slaughter and Timber. Like, you can just burst them down so quickly, especially with like the Sand King as well as the Bounty Hunter and Crystal Maiden. You have so much new potential.
Well, I don't expect that we're gonna see it. I would love it with Bounty Hunter. That track and being able to set up on kills all over the map and always having ulti at your disposal is really, really powerful.
You literally just control the whole map because you have vision on everything at pretty much all times.
But we have the drops, we have buffs to like pipe and stuff. It's a difficult world for a Zeus to really live now.
Right, yeah. Ever since the double pipe was like made possible, Zeus got nerfed quite a bit.
And then nerf the static so that it doesn't stop blink.
Yeah.
Rip. Fnatic looking for the last pickup here, obviously the mid one grab, and he's not for certain who his opposing mid laner is going to be, so could be a difficult decision here if they want to get an early mid lane advantage.
I think Phoenix are more likely to pick the Ember Spirit. They need some physical damage.
Yeah, they do.
He's not the best bloodlust carrier though.
But there's so many heroes that Fnatic can grab from mid laner right now. They have tons of options, really. There haven't been many mid-hero bans, so I think mid one, being so mechanically skilled, he's one of the best players individually in the world for sure. They're going to grab a nice hero for him. I'm looking to MVP and thinking they could just do a carry Slardar here and put in a Void even.
Nice little spicy grab there for Fnatic. They pick up the Tinker.
Well, MVP is going to have a hard time countering this with the last pick. The only way you can really counter is like put the Slaughter on off lane, Timber mid, and pick like something like an Anti-Mage Spectre, something like that to jump on the Tinker.
They could also pick Nyx, I think. Nyx off lane, Timber mid, Slaughter safe, but
then
really
you have like zero high ground again.
Yeah.
That has been like the story of many teams here. They have no high ground, they win early game massively, and then they just can't push and lose.
It's MVP though. They'll run you down.
You guys
They'll
not
find a way.
feeling the MVP love for Voids with a Lich combo in your team as well as the Ogre Magi Bloodlust? I think it would be really strong here. They love playing the carry Slardar as well.
I mean, it's really possible. I go for the Darkseer instead.
Oh.
One of their staples, of course. We kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, 4 of us played that really well before in the tournament.
Perfect rundown here for them.
MVP get their 4 melee lineup right now going against Fnatic. Gentlemen, last thoughts?
I think I like Fnatic a little bit better this game, so I'm voting for them.
I also think Fnatic, the Tinker pick, is not really a good counter to MVP Phoenix, and as Black mentioned, no good way to push high ground.
Yeah, Fnatic have really good heroes against all these high armor heroes, so I love Fnatic's drafts.
Sounds great, gentlemen. Let's get started. It's game number 1. Let's throw it over to our casters now. Gentlemen, take it away.
We are live here, ladies and gentlemen, on the floor of Key Arena. The penultimate day of Dota about to begin, and we have a classic, or quickly becoming a classic matchup. Fnatic versus MVP, best of 3. Panel seem to slightly favor MVP based on their LAN performances in the past. How are you feeling coming in?
I think Fnatic have looked so good at this tournament. Honestly, it could come down to pretty much this third game. We'll see if they lose their first game on LAN. Fnatic have yet to drop a game, as Ted was talking about on the panel, but looking at this draft right now, of course, Ohio had an immaculate day yesterday on that Sand King, looking for him to have a big performance, but we'll jump into the game, LD, and they were talking about all of this magic damage against MVP's lineup here. How do you feel about the last pick Tinker coming out for Fnatic?
It's a really good Tinker game. MVP are fairly tanky. They have a natural pipe builder in the Darkseer. But that being said, they don't have great catch for a Tinker. They don't siege objectives especially well. I think the big player who could be a factor there, it will be QO on the Slardar. He's known for going hard on this hero. He kind of popularized more of a hard carry Slardar type build. He will have Bloodlust. You can throw Ice Armor on him. Decent frontliner to hit buildings, but you just laser him, and that completely derails the ability to quickly take towers. So with MVP going for the Darkseer last pick, it gives them more face rush potential, more 5-man, but as Black pointed out, it does not give them a great high ground sieger. So in order for MVP to deal with the Tinker, it's mostly just going to come down to finding those picks on other heroes and potentially getting good wards so they can jump him from behind.
A good laning phase as well. They have that Lich to help out with, but it looks like there might be a clash at the bottom rune spot. Mid one, he'll back away. He is going to be playing that Slark. He did a lot of that at the Manila Major with a lot of success as well. Of course, remember, they got top 6 there as well. So we'll see how Fnatic perform as we jump into the game. 3-4-3, the roaming bounty hunter, but an ogre on the side of MVP, as they should have the Lich stapled down in one lane. He will deny the range creep down bottom to start things off, but 3-4-3 is going for that courier snipe in the middle lane, and it's coming out right now. This is ending at the tier 3 tower.
Can't snipe a courier at the tier 3 though, so MVP, they've played a lot against this Fnatic bounty hunter, and anyone at this point in the tournament is going to be very cautious. We did see a Skywrath Mage snipe a courier yesterday, so I almost feel like when you have those less conventional courier sniping heroes, it's easier because it's not something your opponents are expecting. But right. MVP going with what's generally not the most common position for the Darkseer in the safe lane, but I do like the matchup quite a bit.
Ooh, Dulu getting low 3 and Crush coming out. The pounce was there, and they need a little bit more damage as 3-for-3 is rotated, and that's your first blood. The bounty hunter, he says, screw the courier, I want the kill, and he finds it down bottom to start things off.
Yeah, man, this is the pressure bounty hunter puts on the game. Meanwhile, you've got Febby just ferrying out a salve all the way from the base. They've committed one support for a threat that isn't even actually there. It's, the hero brings a lot to the table simply by being in the game, and then if he gets kills, so much the better. So what MVP have done here is they've decided to put the Darkseer safe lane. The Slardar Lich duo is not particularly good against Sand King. You don't have too much kill potential until like level 3 or so, and Caustic is really annoying for Slardar. So instead they put Darkseer there. He can just push out the lane with Ion Shell, look to pull the creeps and farm that way. But Ohio's still going to get great farm in this lane. And now with the kill bottom, it looks like they're on track to win 2 lanes. So the mid lane, Mushi, currently under pressure. It's worth mentioning that it's often been mid 1 playing the Tinker, so this is definitely something different from Fnatic. Mushi, of course with the Slark also being picked up, being forced into a different role here.
Yeah.
We'll have to see how he adapts, but mid 1 has a sensational Tinker, so I'm curious to see if Mushi can live up to it.
Now, right now, he is getting pressured, as you mentioned, but he has started off with some good CSing. 7 last hits right now going his way. I feel like they have to keep him down in the early game, because how do they deal with the Tinker going into the later stages of the game? I feel like it's a bit difficult for this squad.
You deal with them by not letting him just get to the late stages of the game unchecked. Like pressuring him in the laning stage, contesting his stacks, setting up traps for him around the map with when the Slardar gets his first big item or 2, maybe smoke ganking where you expect him to be, and what they're doing right now. Febby just constantly bullying him, so I like this approach from MVP. Problem is, Tinker still very good at CSing against melee heroes. Do notice Mushi saving skill points for now, so if he thinks there's a kill opportunity, can level up the heat-seeking missile. Otherwise, more likely you just see the March of the Machines build, and he'll just focus on his economy. They have not been stacking for him yet, but that is something that you can expect to see more Fnatic as he gets leveled up.
Especially since they have this bounty hunter down in that bottom lane, or at least he was in that bottom lane. He's currently heading to the hard camp right now, and as you said, LD 3-4-3 will head to that large camp and stack it up so they have the March of the Machines and that late game security coming out for Mushi later on down the road. Not to mention, he has the small experience advantage over MP for the time being. 3-4-3 rotating in there as a sentry, however. And MP should be wise to the fact that 343 is here. The laser will go out. D-Ward immediately from 343 as both sentries go down, but they have an insurance sentry on the high ground for MVP.
Yeah, keeping Febby locked in the middle lane so far is limiting the Tinker a little bit, but my big concern is Fnatic Sandkin is entirely unchecked right now, and we've seen what Ohio does with a good start. Already almost level 5 here, free farming top. This guy's going to be a problem, Mod. There are 4 melee heroes in this game already. Ohio got it done in what I would say was not the easiest Sand game yesterday.
Yes.
King game yesterday, so I would be concerned if I was MVP.
Absolutely, and this is a matchup that when you look at a Darkseer and you see a melee versus melee solo matchup, usually you think the Darkseer will have the edge, but Sand King out-CSing the Darkseer right now with 21 last hits to the 18 of the Darkseer in Ohio. We saw what he could do yesterday with some good team fight, and they were down a lot as well in that game, so Fnatic, with Ohio having a good start, that blink tackle will help out, but still look to see if 343 can get some more work done down bottom. Dubu's caught out with the Frostbite. See if they can chase him down here.
Yeah, he has gone for that early point in the ice armor. It's a great value point. The move speed and attack speed slow is the same at all levels, so only the armor that scales. I do like the pickup a lot. Limits the bounty hunter's harassment potential. They continue to dual lane mid, trying to slow down Mushi as much as possible. But the thing is, Slark is also farming. Mid 1 having a good time bottom, and the Tinker is a hero that can catch up quite easily. See 343 making a move through mid, maybe scouting for stacks here. He is going to find some.
Could be nice to steal for the...
This is something Tinker can steal, Sand King can steal, so Fnatic, I would not be surprised at all to see them go and actively contest these, especially if MVP doesn't farm them relatively soon.
343 will just block the pull, or the stack, excuse me, at the 5-minute stacking of this hard camp, and he'll just keep eyes, I think, on the Ogre in this mid lane as well. As sentries are gone. Ohio will just burrow strike and get some nice farm for himself.
Oh my god, he is just destroying this lane.
Yeah, wow.
He's even gone for the 3 points in Caustic, which is a clear sign that he's not intending to leave the lane anytime soon. He just wants to continue snowballing. Their other lanes are going fine. Tinker's getting his levels. He's not dying. Bottom lane, Slark farming well. And now the pressure.
Center? Are they going to be able to kill him? Solo, he's going to surge out and away. 343, he walks back in, and it's going to be a kill. Ohio doesn't have the Sandstorm, and he will go down to the tower. 343 barely lives there, LD, but it's the first big pickup here for the Sand King in that top lane.
If he had just juked a tiny bit better, he would have gotten that one kill. Maybe 343 is then the one that gets hit by that last tower shot and dies. It could have been a double kill for Darkseer if the footwork was just a bit different, but instead ends up getting the kill. That was a very risky move by Fnatic, but it ends up paying off.
Sand King right now, top in net worth, although MVP not doing too poorly with the Slardar.
Mushi in a little bit of trouble here. MP diving him. He does have the haste rune active. Not going to commit, though. Currently not sure if those supports can rotate in, so just goes for the pressure. Now he's going to grab the invis. He might gank off of this. We'll see.
He's got a lot. Oh, mid one down bottom, almost going down. Dark Pact, of course, getting low as well, but
he is moving bottom, Mod. MP trying to find a pick-off here on the Timber Saw, and he gets scanned.
Wow.
Ouch.
That is a great scan.
They did see him running to the bottom rune because they have a hill ward mid. So they scouted that rotation. They're like, hey, he's still not back mid. Let's just double check. Really good map awareness by Fnatic still.
They don't know that he is an invis, and DJ just gets caught out because of it. He's Frostbite, but that might not save him. Another Timber Chain. DJ so low. And he juked this around. It looks like he will go down to the Whirling Death. It's just, see him is too slow, man.
I mean, honestly, MP had to spend a lot of time for that. Creeps are now hitting, are at the tower. He misses some CS. I don't think that's the biggest deal for Fnatic, and he ends up blowing 2 runes for that as well, the haste rune and the invis. So overall, yeah, you don't like to lose the support. It's going to hurt mid one a little bit bottom, but it's not a big deal for Fnatic.
Slark, mid one, slithering crushed again. A lot of pressure from QO as well as Dubu. Below half HP, has the pounds if needed. Just trying to see us under his tower. Really not having a great time in doing so. This is just a tough lane. We've seen like 4 or 5 slithering crushes already just trying to harass out mid one. They've done a great job of it. He is not getting free farm at the very least.
I'm just waiting for that first movement from Ohio. At this point, Bounty Hunter, as the panel mentioned, it's not easy for him to find kills. They were, honestly, it was surprising they got that first blood bottom, but they did it very early, and they did it on a fairly easy to kill hero on the Lich. But as the laning stage progresses, now there's Frost Armor, Crystal Maiden is looking a little bit underwhelming in terms of her kill potential, so it comes to the Sand King to control the tempo for Fnatic, and the early build from Ohio not rushing a blink, so don't expect him to move just yet. Probably a couple more minutes before he gets active.
Yeah, this is This is going to be interesting to see when MVP decide to start running at Fnatic. We've talked about their face rush style, of course, with that QO Phantom Assassin, but we'll keep the similar strategy up here against the team they know the best in Fnatic is the question. Here we go, though. 3-4-3 Mushi. Are they going to steal the stacks up to the top lane as QO dives bottom and looks like Midwin will stay alive?
This is a really big move by Fnatic. As mentioned, they scouted these stacks, so don't be surprised if they try to steal them. How much do they get? It looks like maybe half the stack. MP should get the big creeps. They do force 3 MVP heroes to come to this, all the while Ohio's still farming top. I like that move by Fnatic a lot. Just contesting the jungle, denying some of the additional stacks with the Bounty Hunter blocking the spawn box. They're not just going to let MVP play the AFK farm game unchecked. As they see Febby now, they could go on this Ogre.
Febby's getting scouted out. There's the Janata. He's got the Bloodlust, I believe, going for him, so he's a bit speedy, but there's the Burrow Strike, and they should be able to bring him down. The Caustic, I suppose the Shuriken will do the job. Dude was here, but he's out of mana after that Frost Blast. Nobody else rotating up. MP thought about it, but decided against it. Heading back down into the lane, so it's just a free kill, and Ohio gets ever so close to that Blink Dagger. Now it's to 1,700 gold, LD.
I can't stress how important it is that, how important it is that Mushi has not died yet this game. He was pressured by an Ogre. He sits at 55 CS, more than the Timber saw, and a lot of that goes back to MP spending a bunch of time ganking, trying to help other lanes. Just now we saw him trying to come to contest the stack steal. Earlier we saw him grab the Haster and then run all the way bottom, get the Invisor and try to gank that lane, only gets a Crystal Maiden kill out of it. All the while Mushi is just farming unchecked. These are going to be fast boots of travel if MVP don't move the Slardar soon, if they don't apply pressure, and that makes things already quite difficult for MVP.
Forev top lane, 3-4-3 scouting him out. Level 5 for the Bounty Hunter, getting so close to that track, and that is an important marker for Fnatic and for them to get a little bit more gold. And they might get it here if they try to make a go on Frev, but he's hidden himself in the tree line rather successfully, and looks like Ohio will just have to settle for the creep wave and his Blink Dagger now as he picks it up at 10 minutes into this game.
It has been scouted. There's a dire observer ward if they were watching, so Forev could be a difficult kill. Let's see how much backup he gets. This is where you want to check, do they have TPs ready? QO has one. He could come to join the fight. Timbersaw also. Diving this tower could be very dangerous, Mod. Darkseer is quite tanky at this stage.
And QO just picked up his armlet, so not rushing that Blink Dagger. Epicenter getting channeled, here we go. Blink in, Burrow Strike Frabslow. The Shuriken, they'll bring him down. Nice gank, no TP reactions whatsoever, and MVP lose their Darkseer.
Well, they have the ward. I assume they saw the blink, but apparently weren't expecting the dive. Nice movement there. Track, not online yet, but is coming soon, and there's some really cool synergy here for Fnatic. Track just giving the Tinker that tiny bit of vision he needs to reliably set up rest missiles, also make it easier for him to be confident about where he TPs. Not to mention it makes the Sand Cane and the Slark's lives a lot easier as far as chasing goes. So I really feel like the Bounty Hunter is an important role to play this game, not just for track goal, but also for the vision, setting up ganks and allowing the Tinker to more confidently farm. And for MVP, they need to take towers down in a relatively decent rate, at least to limit the map control. Fnatic right now, though, you look at all these towers, Mod, they're all basically full HP. Yeah. Just now the bottom tower getting slightly chipped on. QO with the armlet will have to be the siege engine. Slardar is not a great tower killer. Expect for him to itemize in a way that lets him hit towers, as I talked about earlier, but it's still taking them a while to really control the map.
Gonna go bottom, Burrow Strike. Track is up, Pounds is there as well, but here comes the Timbersaw trying to turn this around. Whirling Death coming out, Chain Frost bouncing as well, and QO is looking for that kill. They will find it. DJ falling, QO armlet toggling, making sure he stays alive, but now MP's been found, and that might be the track kill that they are looking for.
And they want Dubo as well. They're gonna find that Lich on the back lines. They get two. MVP, now QO on the run. Ohio can track him down. Slardar, armlet toggle, caught by the stun, trapped in the trees, pounced and dead. 3 heroes hitting the deck for MVP. Oh boy, now the track online. So 3-4-3 in that fight really baited the crap out of the Timbersaw. Dodged away from the chain. The Chakram was on very low HP the entire fight. Ends up getting away. The other thing that really hurts MVP, the Chain Frost bounced the wrong direction, as we'll see Forev now caught, but he is able to TP away. With MVP tower diving like that, the one thing they were really lacking there is the mech on the Darkseer. That goes back to the earlier fight top. If he doesn't die there, he has his mech by now. He's quite likely joining the team for that fight, and I think it goes very differently for MVP, but because Fnatic found those early rotations, they got the kill with the Blink Dagger on the Sand King, the previous kill, even before he had the Blink in the earlier laning stage. They have slowed down MVP's 5-man, and having all your towers up 13 minutes in with a Tinker a Sand King, a Slark, heroes that scale well, that can project force around the map very easily. This is a problem for MVP. They are not in a good position.
Fnatic have a great draft to take them into the late game right now. They're sitting at the top 3 in net worth, with, of course, Ohio leading the way, having a great lane top with that Sand King, and they'll continue to control the map as well.
And the other thing, Mod, is, because Slardar goes armlet, this is QO standard build. It is a carry Slardar, but the problem is now you have no catch for Tinker. In order to kill the Tinker, you have to surge, sprint, run after him, at which point, with all the towers up, the entire Fnatic team could be there in a matter of seconds. You have to worry about running into an epicenter from Ohio, with now a level 2 epi, mind you, as he is already 14 minutes in the game.
I mean, this is before they have the Blink Dagger up on the Tinker, and then it gets even harder, because you're just not going to be able to catch him. You don't have a Storm Spirit, you don't have a Clockwork to hook shot into the tree lines.
No Bat Rider either, which got banned out quite early.
This is like the perfect draft for the Tinker for Mushi, as long as they stay alive in the early game. However, a fight breaking out. Good Shurikens doing a lot of damage. They also get off the epicenter, and it's a big one from Ohio. Frev is low. He will fall. 3 dead quickly, LD.
They want Dubu too, running down the Lich. He's going to be the 4th to fall, but Mushi caught out, at least MP getting a slight revenge kill, but now his turn to drop as DJ rains down the nukes. Can he finish the job? He does. MVP get 2 cores. They are the biggest ones. The Slark, the Tinker. But you can't say it's worth it when it's a 5-man wipe. And Ohio was ready. They have the vision advantage here. An easy setup for the epicenter. Gets the 2 hero stun. But yesterday he was hitting 3, 4 hero stuns, but it doesn't need to be any more than 2. Great epicenter. Already level 2. MVP just getting run over at that point.
3-4-3 did so much work in that fight. His Shuriken tosses started it off strong and then ended it strong as well. He actually did so much work getting some damage done there.
Yeah, it's a hard support. Even the Crystal Maiden ultimate securing the kill. These are not heroes that are necessarily known for their team fight prowess, but with the start they've had, they can have an impact. MVP, it feels like they've been getting punished now. The 3rd game in a row where a super heavy melee composition from them has been dealt with effectively thus far. They're going to take a risky move here, Mott. They walk into the Roshan pit.
I think Fnatic have an understanding of what's happening. They'll send the heat-seeking missile in, and already QO at half HP. 3-4-3 in mid one coming in. Burrow strike up in the high ground. Hits 3. They will look for more. Good vacuum, but no wall to fall up. There it is. It's a little late, though. Mark's covering the retreat. Mid one, he's going to be in the Shadow Dance still. He will retreat for the time being.
But it's just so easy for Tinker here as that next heat-seeking missile lands on the Lich, kills him off, then Forev brought down by the 3-4-3 Bounty Hunter. Tinker's just sitting back. It's like a shooting gallery for him, and then Ohio landing huge burrow strikes. They just have no gap close right now. The only hero who can jump on him is Timbersaw with any sort of reliability, and at that point he gets focused by 5 heroes. So the entire MVP game plan quickly coming undone. It feels like after Wings played MVP yesterday, there was a script written on how to deal with MVP, and they go for that same type of draft here. Fnatic fully prepared for it thus far.
Yeah, I mean, Fnatic's draft looking good. They have right now a 7,500, getting up to 10K net worth advantage, and it might be more soon. Mid one with the Shadow Blade ready to go on QO, but he will back away underneath that tier 1 tower. Stop the Roche. QO was looking for a Slithering Crush, but instead, they're going to back away together. And it just feels like MVP, every move is being scouted, whether by a ward or by this Bounty Hunter played by 3-4-3. And they just can't really find anything for this team.
Just look at how confidently they're farming the map right now. When MVP's having a good game, when they've been dominant, you are huddled on your side of the map. You usually don't have tier 1s up at this point, let alone all 3 of them. You're afraid to farm. Tinker's TPing aggressively forward into creep waves. Sand King farming way past the river. On the bottom lane, Slark is just unthreatened. And also worth mentioning, not only is it a good Tinker game, but it's a pretty good Slark game as far as being able to farm safely goes. No blink on the Slardar. You can always just Dark Pact off the amp damage. They have decent AoE from Timbersaw, but they don't have the best catch. So unless he commits everything offensively, he should be able to get out. So all 3 of their cores just feel completely safe to farm the map. And as a result now, we see them really starting to pull ahead. 3 of the top 5 here in CS. MVP keeping up in their own right as far as farm goes, but they don't have track gold, and they certainly aren't going to feel great about their late game chances against this hard anti-melee lineup that Fnatic have.
I mean, even the supports for Fnatic are getting rich at this point. You look at the Bounty Hunters just behind QO and farm in net worth. That is something special. Ohio, epicenter, forces up, and he gets the kill onto 2. A double kill for Ohio, who's now dominating as well.
And Dubu, 3 down, falls the Lich. shatters in the bottom lane, and it feels like MVP have lost all control of this game. That array of wards now all around the Roshan pit. Fnatic not very good at killing Roshan, truth be told, so I don't think they intend on taking it themselves. This is much more not going to be giving it away freely to MVP, who do have Slardar, do have Bloodlust, a pretty good Rosh lineup, but they're not going to be allowed to grab it without a fight. Now Mushi has Blink. Slark at this point could be the Silver Edge to deal with the Timbersaw's reactive armor, could go into an Echo Saber or BKB, but we'll have another item of some kind soon. And perhaps the biggest concern is Ohio, who has been crushing them. 4-1-9, a 5-0-9 bounty hunter has been providing the alley-oops and setting them up all game from 3-4-3. Once that Ags is online, good luck.
And there's also the little CM Midas as well, which was just picked up. And again, it's looking worse and worse by the minute here, LD, for MVP Phoenix. They do get the Blink Dagger for QO, but that is... It's not that great, all things considered.
It could be a game-changing item, but unfortunately, Mott, as they smoke, I think one or two of those heroes at least were spotted, and Ohio's in position. He blinks out, breaks the smoke. They chase, and he dodges that one too.
What a slide. The Force gets him away, and Mid1 says, hey, let's go back in. We're ready to go. We have pretty much every hero here except for the CM. But
Fnatic's vision game has been so on point, and this is the power of a bounty hunter who's had a good start.
3-4-3 is not only getting vision with himself, but the wards that he's placed down, that sentry placement. He just lost one there, but he's going to have the vision to be able to de-ward here without any real issues whatsoever. They're heading bottom. They're looking for a kill onto that CM, and it looks like they will find it. DJ will get bashed up in QO with that Blink Dagger that he just purchased. Finally does help get a kill. It is going to be 4-Ev taking it.
They're 5-manning, though. They're 5-manning into Tinker, and they will be 5-manning into a Sand Cane as already he TP's bottom. Ideally want to pick one of those two before you dive the tower, or you will get punished.
So the Ring Crush comes through, but he's able to Dark Pact it. Another epicenter in QO. Necked up, and he's able to survive for now. QO staying healthy, at least for the moment. Mid-1, he's popped his Shadow Dance. It's time to back away. And Ohio might fall, and he will.
Nice job there by MVP. Isolating heroes, finding pickoffs, but they do have to retreat with the Tinker spam wearing them down. This time 5-manning with the Darkseer. The mech definitely helping sustain that next level of aggression, and well, this time we didn't see the heroic multi-hero epicenter really only damaged the Timbersaw in that fight, and it wasn't even with all the pulses. Fnatic, I think a bit impatient there. They could have waited for MVP to dive the tower more. Instead, they take the fight quite far away from it, where MVP are going to be stronger. Jump the gun, but nothing catastrophic. And notice, even when they give up those 2 kills, Mott, they don't lose the tower. Yeah. So still their map control game pretty solid. I want to point out MVP dewarded at least 2, if not 3 of those observers, but there is still one, the one that scouted the smoke previously up near the secret shop.
Did they smoke right under that ward to get it? They were close to it.
They're moving in.
Mid-1 looks like he might be the target here. He has the Shadow Blade. He has all of his abilities up, and he will use said Shadow Blade. I don't know if they saw it. They scouted it out. Might have been pinged. NP is also here in the mid lane. Mid-1 will just actually run around looking for a target, maybe a support, but he doesn't know that they're all congregated up towards this tier 1 tower mid.
You deward that many wards and you figure, all right, surely they don't have vision here. But Fnatic, they were ready.
All right, I have to say, MVP with that kill on the Sand King, like you said, it's not the worst thing in the world. You still have like a 12,000 net worth lead, which
he also spent his gold before dying. So Ohio did not lose really anything as far as unreliable gold goes. Obviously, he's not farming during that time. It's not the carry, ultimately. That's the thing. It's still Slark free farming. As I say, that mid-1 getting pursued and punished a bit here by MP. But at some point, he gets a BKB, and he doesn't have to worry about the Timbersaw, which is really their main source of damage for killing the Slark in the mid-game.
We're starting to get those items that can really change the game. It's the Blink Dagger on 4-Ev. They have the Bloodstone on that Timbersaw as well. This game is certainly not over. Even they have the top net worth hero now, as they have the Timbersaw eclipsing the Sand King as well as the Tinker. I don't know how long that's going to be for, since Tinker might eventually get to the top of net worth, but still, they have tools to work with, LZ, and they're trying to make things happen here with yet another smoke, I think, down in this bottom lane.
Yeah, Radiant did just scan, and a couple heroes walk into it.
Not again. Some good scans from Fnatic so far.
You could just see, like, they want to take the fight bottom, ideally to knock this tower down and then have better access to Roshan, but constantly Fnatic are expecting this move.
And Fnatic are in a position to easily defend this. I think the tower might be.
They bring 5.
And Ohio's looking for another slide in and looking for that epicenter, but it's a little too far away this time around. Everyone will back up from MVP, and they will keep that tower alive for the time being. And it gets denied as it was in deny range.
This is a very big item. MP grabbing a pipe this game, epicenter. Eventually, quite likely, we'll see the Tinker Ags. It's been a go-to item for many Tinker players. This could be a game changer.
Mid one, he's going to scout them out. The smoke is broken. Ohio will blink away. Is Fnatic going to get out yet again? It looks like they might be able to. The burrow strike coming in. Now mid one actually caught out. Shadow Dance won't keep him alive. Maybe it will. Barely alive with 200 HP LD.
And he pounds out 1 second. Not going to happen. Gets brought down, and now Mushi on the run, but DJ from the trees tries to zone MVP back. It's a huge Crystal Maiden ultimate, brings 3 heroes down below half HP, so 343 tries to clean up the Shuriken bouncing. Good armlet toggle by Q to keep him alive, though. Now the chase, can they finish off this Lardar? He's healthy-ish for now. MP dropping low, the burrow through, the rockets, the laser gets the kill.
He's looking for more. Femi trying to TP out, and he will make it away. MVP Phoenix, they'll lose 3, and like you said, that CM ulti coming out. DJ hitting the tree line in one of the best spots possible. They had absolutely no way of finding him. That ultimate did some serious work, and the damage done mostly by him as well as the Tinker from Mushi.
DJ playing the hero. You know, I think at this point his Enigma play at Manila is probably what most people remember from him more than anything. Enigma more known for that playmaking than CM, but my God, he stepped up. This Crystal Maiden has 6K net worth. Compare that to the MVP supports. Collectively, they are under 3K. He is almost doubling them already. In fact, a little bit more than that. And at this point now, grabs a Blink Dagger. The Midas is kicking in. The track gold paying off. The only hero staying up there as far as cores go is Timbersaw. And late game, Tinker, Slark are going to have a fine time dealing with Timber. This is not a game where Timbersaw is going to 1v5. He needs a lot of help from the team, and they're just not getting the items to provide it right now.
They need a lot of help from the team, and they need some mistakes from Fnatic as well. Mid one going down a couple of times, 2 deaths to his name, but nothing too significant. At this point, those deaths don't really mean anything. Tinker is picking up his Ags. As his Aether Lens is done already, that Ags is going to come out soon, and then the damage gets even more significant for Fnatic. They'll continue to split the map up. There still are tier 2 towers left alive for MVP Phoenix, but they've only taken 1 tower themselves, and it was denied by Fnatic. MVP Phoenix, they're not really finding much of the map now, and Fnatic will go together and smoke.
It is a real weakness in their draft. They're just not that good at sieging objectives, something the analyst brought up early. MVP can often get around this, but hold that thought. They are smoked. They move towards the pit. QO blinking out as 343 struts in, and the dire scan reveals quite a few heroes now, as well as that observer ward. So next item for Fnatic, aside from all these, is going to be a Veil on 343. So you have pipe, MVP, you think you have a way to deal with our magic damage. We're just going to amp it up a little bit, see how you like it. That along with the Sand King eggs now, so this burrow strike gets even more difficult to deal with in team fights.
I do like MVP invading the jungle over and over, even if it's not working every time. Still getting these wards down, getting this vision is at least something going their way.
The problem, though, is there's a Tinker. Mushi can go farm the other lanes and be there for fights. So if you have 5 in the enemy jungle, you're getting wards. Maybe you limit 2 cores from farming. None of yours are. All the while, Mushi's free farming, and now as a result, he is the lead farmer. He has an Aghanim Scepter picked up, buys it, so has the upgraded refracting laser, as well as the 4 heat-seeking missiles. And because MVP are 4 melee heroes, they are likely to be close together, where the laser bouncing will do maximum damage, where they'll likely have vision of all 4, who have to be more on the front lines to be effective. Tinker is going to have a field day. Aether Lens, Veil, set up from the Sand King. If they don't catch Mushi, he will crush them in the fight.
I mean, it's that Shuriken toss coming out as well. You've already talked about the Sand King, what he can do. The CM even is starting to kick in with her Blink Dagger for DJ. Mid one, it's kind of an afterthought. Kiwa will catch DJ, and wow, do they kill him quickly. And Whirling Death coming through.
They also had vision on Ohio. It looks like MVP want to snowball this.
4-3 will drop the ward down, the Sentry as well. He's going to Shadow Walk and try to get out of here, but it looks like instead...
That's the ideal hero to catch. It's Ohio with a long burrow. Brings him back, and I think he should be able to blink away if need be.
Close.
The escape mechanism.
They've seen him. It looks like they've seen this This Bounty Hunter, they might be able to chase him down. QO looking for a blink stun, but they don't have any more vision here. The sentry dropped down again, but 343 not scouted out with it. He will make it away. He can buy TP, but it's on cooldown for 17 seconds. Hiding in the tree line. MVP will see if they really want to go for this. Instead, they will back up. Maybe look for Roche or something else.
Fnatic now recognize there's definitely MVP vision here. That's how they got the initial jump, and that's also how they followed up and almost killed the Sand King. So they begin dewarding. Tinker right back in the action. At this point, Sand King has his item. So if Ohio dies, you can maybe win the team fight, but if you don't win the fight off the back of a Sand King kill, that doesn't really matter. What's going to be crucial for slowing down Fnatic's late game is killing the cores. So far, Mushi has done a fantastic job at not getting caught on Tinker. 5-1-7. Not a hero he's known for playing much of. Well, we saw what happened when Fnatic experimented around the Mushi Invoker that one game. Normally, it's, in fact, almost always, it's mid-1 who plays. I know Winter's remarked that Mushi's hotkey setup in the past has not really allowed him to play Invoker. Didn't seem comfortable, but this is a hero he's not known for, which he is playing extremely well right now.
Yeah, the one death, I mean, that's something else. Again, we've talked about it. He has the perfect draft to set it up, though. So he's got a lot of help going his way when MVP can't really catch him. But still, to play at this level and have this net worth and this farm for his team is significant.
They've been dancing around Roshan for what feels like 15 minutes now. MVP, they got the one tier 1, which was denied.
They want to get in that pit already.
Nothing since. And the thing is, you get the one kill in the CM, it didn't even dent the gold graph. And that's without Fnatic getting the rebuttal track kills. They get one rebuttal track kill, it's going to be another couple thousand gold likely going their way at this point, as it is a level 2 track. It starts to add up quickly.
I mean, it's what you talked about. It always comes back to this with a Tinker, just free farming the map. Yeah, you get the one kill on the CM. He is pretty wealthy at this point. Still not nearly enough to, like you say, put a dent in that gold graph. Mid one is stalking. The Shadow Blade looking around for potential support pickoff, but MVP are playing as 5, as they have been for pretty much this entire game, or at least the entire, I guess, second half of the game. They'll stay together, and again, Roshan was a target for them, but they're pushed back into their own jungle, trying to get some farm, trying to get any sort of gold going their way. As Fnatic were setting a bottom, looking for a pick of their own, but
you just look at the way MVP itemized this game. They got a mech on Darkseer. They picked up a pipe on Timbersaw. He did not go for more of a carry build, not rushing the bots. The Aghanims didn't even get the blink early, now goes back for it and picks up a Blade Mail. They're itemizing to run around as a pack and just swarm on Fnatic and find pickoff after pickoff, but they're not getting those pickoffs. So if you don't find the kills, you fall pretty far behind. That this could be an opening bottom.
Oh, he missed the Slithering Crush. He still has the BKB ready for QO. Tracks up 343 in the tree line already. Is that going to be the end of it that quickly? They're going to be able to chalk their way through. Sentries there. Fire Blast will catch up. The Bounty Hunter, it looks like the 2-man burrow coming out, but it will be.
He can channel MP if they chase this. He's thinking about it.
Ohio looking to go back in, and there's the 4 rockets coming out. And the march as well from that Tinker. More rockets of breath. Will get burrow struck, and it looks like he might fall. Yes, the CM Crystal Nova, but here comes MP. Looking for the Frostbite. It's there. TP out from the Tinker, but they will lose the CM.
Nice fight for MVP here. No track kills as the Bounty Hunter died quite early, and they will walk away. But with no track kills and a 2-for-1, it's a 1,300 gold Swain, and they didn't even use the Slardar BKB. Really nice fight for MVP. Didn't see an opening for Ohio to get the epicenter, and that's where getting the amplified damage on Ohio is hugely important. Not necessarily to kill him, but just so that you don't get ambushed by the epicenter. They were able to get it off pretty early. Good recognition by QO, and as a result, they avoided that catastrophic team fight turnaround.
MVP, they're inching forward little by little, but again, it's maybe if they can get that Tinker pick off, that's a lot of gold in the bank for them. But for now, they're getting dewarded. The gem is up on Ohio, so they're going around together. At least the Slark as well as Ohio were together for a moment, just trying to deward whatever they could, and they found a couple of good Observer Wards to take down. But in the jungle, it looks like there's going to be a fight breaking out. QO looks like he missed the stun. And here comes mid one for the rest of the squad, trying to find an initiation.
Didn't actually even get it off, but now Fnatic are chasing him. Rockets coming in, BKB ready. Does he know that mid one's right on his tail?
Mid one just hit him once. That long-range burrow coming out with the Aghanim Scepter. More tracks up, but MVP are just running in it. It doesn't look like Fnatic are willing to chase this down. It looks like they'll back up. They want to play smart. They want to keep pushing out the lanes with Mushi. What looked like a fight that might break out for either team. It's not going to be really anything.
QO has been really disciplined with his BKB. I feel like a lot of players would have used 2 charges already with That bottom fight looked like it could have been a big team fight. Now here, dropping very low, but this man is a master of the armlet toggle, and he also knows the limits of Slardar as a hero. So these will be crucial BKB charges when they're down. He's got to worry about the Tinker slaughtering him in team fights eventually. Mushi could see that Dagon build, could just get a Hex and completely chainstun him, but they got eyes on MP. They're setting up with the epicenter. They go in. He hasn't gotten the pipe off yet. He's about half HP. Can they focus him down? He misses the Timber Chain. He's still alive through this, though.
QO solo as well. Now they're going to turn their attention back towards MP. Mid one's away from the fight. QO armlet toggling. Can they bring him down? They're getting Mushi low. Amplified damage Burrow Strike a little bit off the mark, but the Frostbite will bring him down.
An odd target to commit on for Fnatic, but they still come out on top. And 4F now caught on the cliff, gets Burrow struck, will be dealt with here. The wall drop doing good damage, but not enough for the kill. And Mushi just barely gets away. Again, MVP, so close, yet so far. A 3K gold swing. Now the tower to drop as well. And Fnatic just able to outlast them in these team fights. And that was with everything blown on a Timbersaw that never died.
And MP might get caught now as he's missed the Timber Chain. He will get the second one, but Ohio is still looking for him. Burrow Strike should be ready soon. He'll try to TP out. Ohio
Frostbite?
doesn't have it. Not in time. DJ was there, but couldn't quite get that W button off.
Close call. Does make it out. 13 Bloodstone charges on the Timbersaw, so hanging on to that +1, but it's mid one top lane. Applying the pressure on Febby. Completely fearless with the Slardar dead, knowing there's really no way for MVP to kill him. Now he'll TP out, and he does so, spitting in Febby's face practically, it feels like. Gets away there, and Fnatic just not losing their cores. Slark fine in these fights, Tinker fine as well. They have 1 death on Tinker, 2 deaths on Slark, who's been up in the front lines, 2 deaths on the Sand King. They have 5 deaths between all 3 of them. Meanwhile, the team has racked up 23 kills, so. Between that and track gold, Fnatic continue to accelerate their advantage. They've still only lost the 2 towers, despite MVP constantly 5-manning. The fact that a tier 1's up when you've built pipe and mech at this stage is not generally a good sign for a team.
Again, it's that lack of tower pusher, lack of objective taker, and really just not dealing with Mushi with any of these heroes. We've talked about it so many times, but now it's even more. They have the gem up, they have 343, who's already really rich as well. He's got that Veil of Discord to help out against the pipe. If they take a 5-on-5 engagement now with that BKB on the CM as well, could be pretty devastating for MDG's
Silver Edge on mid one as he jumps on mid, he pounces on Febby. Dark Pack follow-up, it should be enough to secure the kill, grabs it. Can he get out without having to pop his BKB? Shadow dances away, will make it out. With the Silver Edge now, Timbersaw will have to be a lot more careful. MP, he has the pipe to deal with magic damage, but now physical damage could become a problem for him.
If they have vision on QO like they had the track there, then they just know that the Slark can go in and he could look for that easy kill on Febby. If there's only the MP follow-up, that's not going to be enough. He could just Shadow Dance. They don't have the disables to deal with him.
Yeah, they don't have enough burst damage without QO there to lock him down with the crush and the amp damage. Maybe Timbersaw gets him to half health, but he can always just BKB if he needs to and Shadow Dance away. So it's just a dream Slark game, a dream Tinker game. 2 heroes that scale very hard into the late game, a good spread of magic and physical damage. So you're not all in on one thing that Frost Armor can counter by any means. It really does look great for Fnatic right now, and I like their patience. We're still seeing Mushi pushing out lanes. They're not trying to force the issue. They recognize their lineup has tons of room to scale. Even Crystal Maiden now picking up a BKB. There is nothing to stop this level 3 freezing field aside from Bash.
Some real disciplined play.
DJ could be the hero. There's a Veil in this game as well. We're talking so much about the cores, but that's assuming they don't even have to worry about a Crystal Maiden ult.
I feel like for Fnatic, the damage sources are everywhere. Even that Bounty Hunter as well with the Shuriken Toss.
Yeah, even the Bounty Hunter is a bit of a threat.
So MVP, they've been trying to 5-man, and Fnatic have played this so disciplined. They know that, obviously, there are comeback potentials here for MVP. We saw yesterday with Fnatic, they were down, I think, almost 10K gold. They were able to come back, so they want to make sure they don't make the same mistake. They'll at least get a lot of farm, pick up their BKBs on their cores and even their supports and go from there. Get the big items and then look for potentially Roshan, a pickoff, then into Roche, or a tier 2 tower, which there still are tier 2 left of course, for MVP still standing in the map. And Fnatic will play it slowly as they inch further and further towards that Roshan. Maybe a kill on the high ground.
It's just not been the pace of game MVP wanted. They wanted to run at Fnatic. They wanted to take a sub 20-minute Roshan with amp damage, with Bloodlust, snowball that advantage. They will now look for the move into the river. Still only a level 15 Slardar. Doesn't even have the level 3 amp damage at 38 minutes into the game. Normally at this point, QO is closing in on level 20, but now the Epi, it's an air ball from Ohio.
All right.
Not what he was looking for.
Epi's
Can
down.
MVP take a fight now?
They're ready to go. QO's running forward. He's going to find the blink, and the Slithering Crush misses. No, it hits him this time. Ohio will get caught. But there's the Frostbite to stop his further aggression. Still has that BKB. On the backside, though, mid one will take down Dubu, and looking for more.
That's a big part of their team fight mod, and now they might get additional kills with the 2-hero burrow. The follow-up coming through. Raining down the Crystal Nova. Freezing field combo. DJ just slaughtering MVP where they stand. 4 dead. It could be 5. The burrow, the laser. MVP have been dealt with by Fnatic.
That was kind of how you expected the fight to go. With how far Fnatic are, they kill 5 even without the epicenter. They don't need it. Mid one takes out the back line, and then it's all of that damage coming in from Mushi on the Tinker. As you'll see the fight here again. It just
They have all these threats, and then just wait for the Crystal Maiden to come in. They don't even have epicenter at this point. You can't deal with this. The team fight is way too strong at this stage. And again, heroes that counter heavy melee compositions. This is now 3 games in a row where MVP have gone 4 or 5 melee heroes. Crystal Maiden is great against it with this amount of farm. Tinker with the Aghanim Scepter, fantastic to punish melee heroes, fantastic to punish Deathball. Slark, just difficult for MVP's lack of catch to handle in general. And Sand King, who frankly, with the Caustic build, is an anti-melee specialist. So honestly, at this point, MVP just seem a bit figured out as far as draft and play. And unless they get that magical snowball rolling and just completely outplay their opponents in the laning stage, it feels like their lineups really lack a plan B going into the mid and the late game. And then on top of that, Fnatic playing out of their minds.
If there were no BKBs on Fnatic, I'd say MVP have a better chance, but there's just too many. There's the Burrow Strike to start things off on MP. Maybe just slow things down, show him that they have potential to bring him down, and he needs to always be wary. Mid one sitting underneath that tier 2 tower, getting close. They have the track up on MP. He might walk forward, and QO not there, farming the jungle. Mid one will be scouted. He did have a double damage rune, by the way. Still does.
I just want to point out, Mott, DJ has more farm than QO.
Yep. I mean, with the Midas, it was bound to happen, but he's finally hit that threshold.
Was it bound to happen? I'm not sure.
If the game was going to go this long and it was going to be this one-sided, I suppose so. But
yeah, if it was going to be this one-sided, sure. But that is a horrific sign when the enemy Crystal Maiden has more farm than your one-position Slardar. And
not great for QO.
I mean, Timbersaw is up there. That's nice for MVP, but how much can a Timbersaw realistically do? There is now a Hex on Tinker. He does not have a way to deal with the Hex, aside from just running. And it feels like MP could just be kited and then controlled, and now they find him in. They've already brought him down a quarter. It's going to be half momentarily. Mushi just chain cycling lasers and hexes. That is your 20K net worth hero. Not even worth the paper that the money is written on.
If he's that far up and he's able to just use all of his spells and mana, it doesn't matter. He can TP back home, recharge, and get ready to go again. Now with him down for 50, they might want to force out a buyback. Again, Roche has yet to be taken this game. I don't think Fnatic really care about an Aegis. And I don't think they care if MVP gets one either. They really just want to make sure they take down objectives. And this tier 2 outer tower, the last one of the game for MVP, is about to fall.
They really are bad at Roshin. They have no minus armor. They have a Slark who scales in terms of damage by hitting heroes, not Roshan, and stealing their stats. And oh my god, are you serious, DJ? Now the Aghanim Scepter gets picked up.
You've already done enough, DJ.
DJ,
calm down.
They're already dead. Mercy, please.
Yeah.
30K net worth and rising. The Fnatic showing what, you know, many did expect based on these teams' past matchups, that Fnatic generally beats MVP. I mean, yes, most of the games are online because most of the times the teams have played are online, but they know this team inside and out. MVP have a very specific style. We have not seen them adapting, and this smoke gank really needs to work if they want to get back in this game, Mott.
Feels so desperate.
Unfortunately, it's scanned by the Radiant. MVP just cannot catch a break. It's like Fnatic are reading their minds.
Ohio is in the pit right now. We'll see if MVP decides to go, and he blanks out in time. Ohio, again, on another level. He burrow strikes QO. He's got the BKB, but is already at half health right now. Slithering Crush will find Ohio, but can they do anything with his vacuum? BKB enemies up. Ohio will fall.
He has
got
the buyback.
and he's going to come back in momentarily.
Looking for a bit more. Now the Slark laying onto Febby. Mid one trying to finish him off. DJ, the Crystal made an ultimate. He's going to kill off QO again. And then the MP on the MP. Timbersaw on the run. Tracked up. Now the Yules trying to hang on while Dubu falls in the back. He chains away to safety. But it's only safety for now because Fnatic first the heroes. Next it'll be the base as Mushi dives in deep with the track vision. Almost kills out Forev. They'll burrow through the waves. Even with the buyback, still barely losing gold in that fight, and with the net worth gap is this big, just shows you how much the track can make a difference.
They're not even safe in their base right now, LD. Moosh is going to come in. There's the Burrow Strike. They might find FP. He's hexed up again. They have the Veil. Vacuum will save him momentarily, but it's just too much damage from this Tinker as QO is going to just try to find a Slithering Crush, but right now, all he's doing is just stalling as he's going to get Burrow Struck, but he will avoid it with the Blink Dagger. Forev caught out with another Hex. QO and Forev, they're getting pushed back pretty much into the well, the tier 4 towers underneath the shadows. And at this point, they will take down a set of racks and maybe more.
Mid one, poking forward. MVP, like you said, down one lane, but they haven't gotten the full megas just yet. Mid one gets caught. He pops the BKB. 15 Essence Shift stacks and rising now for the TPL. Will they get the bash? Even that, no such luck for MVP. Oh, that hurts.
And the Rockets.
I mean, already Fnatic is outplaying them, and then even the luck is going against MVP. They've got to be frustrated at this point. Another 5K on Mushi. To go with that, the Slark, 1.8K banked up for him as well. And even after the buyback, Ohio has a Soul Booster, a potential Octarine Core for Sandcane with an even lower cooldown on the Burrow Strike, and the Epi becoming even more difficult to deal with.
It just feels like MVP have nothing left in the tank, and they're going to try to go for Roshan. This might be the last gasp for them.
They need this Roshan. They need it real bad.
Ooh, they have the Hex up on the mid one as the Sentry was there, but now Q misses another Slithering and gets turned down by Ohio.
What a great force
more damage. And it's going to be the Refraction. They get the Hex off again as MP was looking to Timber Chain up. QO is still hunting, looking for at least one target to find, and it might be mid one. QO instead is now on the run. Mid one is the one hunting. It's turned bad for MVP yet again.
Lotus Orb now picked up. Great way to deal with the amplified damage.
Well, I mean, you can't even do Roche, for half a second without Fnatic coming in and saying, hey, stop that. We're not going to give you any room to breathe in this game. There's just nothing MVP can do, it seems like, without Fnatic there at every turn.
That has been such a crucial part of their game plan, is just never giving up this bottom tier 1 for like the first 20 minutes of the game, and along with that, never letting MVP walk into the Roshan pit. Sure, Fnatic don't take it themselves, but they don't need to. Their lineup scales better in the late game. They have track gold. They're already ahead. They just need to stop MVP from getting any sort of comeback mechanic here, and they have all game long been a thorn in their side. The MVP game plan really did hinge on Roshan advantage and Snowball, and Fnatic have allowed neither.
Yeah, since the beginning of the game, Roshan never been a real option for MVP. They've tried going in 2 or 3 times with little to no success. I mean, they haven't gotten Aegis once this game, and they've only taken down a couple tier 1 towers. In fact, one was denied bottom, the other one I think also probably denied mid. I can't remember off the top of my head, but now a Bloodstone picked up for the Tinker. Mana probably not an issue anymore.
Mushi is looking towards the late game at this point, can replace the Aether Lens with something bigger as the game moves along, whether it's a Shiva's Guard, a Dagon for the additional burst damage. We'll have to wait and see. Fnatic playing this very patiently. They're up one lane of racks. MVP are known for their miraculous comebacks. When you're this far ahead, one bad fight can be an 8K gold swing potentially, so but gotta be patient and disciplined. They're waiting on their next item pickups. Now an Octarine, so Ohio with the 8-second cooldown Burrow Strike, 8.25. That is devastating.
Mid one has found MP, or likewise the other direction. The Burrow Strike is there. Ohio blinks out immediately. They don't have the damage right now. QO wrapping around, might find a Slithering Crush for the first time.
But they did get Mushi. He forced that back for the moment. Lotus is there.
QO, he's going to have to pop the BKB. Double Yules coming out. There's the Burrow Strike. Forev caught. They've caught 2. QO still getting right-click down. Mid one watch this kill. The armlet toggle on top. And the Alice Shadow Dances, he's getting caught, but no. There's the epicenter, the double stun. The Chain Frost might be able to turn it, but no, the Laser Refraction coming out. 3 dead, and it might be 4.
And GG MVP gets spanked here on the main stage as Fnatic completely figure them out, win in every phase of the game. Vision, Roshan control, early kills, farming, decision-making down the stretch. I cannot see MVP coming back with this exact same strategy and expecting to win. Wings might have written the blueprint, but Fnatic have honed it and refined it to the next level.
I mean, Fnatic, they've already looked good so far in this tournament, not dropping a single game on the main stage. But like you said, MVP keep bashing their heads against the wall. So what do you draft then for MVP? Because they like to face rush. You know, they've tried different, I guess, heroes with this melee lineup, but
I think some of the heroes are fine. It's not that you can't pick Q of Slardar, but not going so all in, so melee heavy, having no access to late game. One, I think it was really cool how Fnatic took the Bounty Hunter, because that's part of what does let MVP access late game is if you're trading kills but you're getting track gold, then perhaps you can go a bit later. But the way Fnatic drafted was very well thought out here. The other thing that Ben mentioned is sometimes they have gone for greedier farming oriented strats.